Just change out a few things. Here we go. Here we go. Prepared live streaming the meeting. What's up, you guys on YouTube? What's up, you guys on Clubhouse? This is your host, Gabriel Julié. I hope that you are doing incredible today. On today's episode of Marketing Commandos, we are going to talk about those things I'm going to talk about right now, which are, hey guys, the secrets to automatically get a crap ton of sales without getting more leads, because see a lot of entrepreneurs trying to understand and get more leads every day and they're like, hey man, the lead sucks, let's get more leads because the quality of the leads are not good. But there's actually a method that I'm going to share with you to make sure that you get more sales without working more, just by making the system work better for you. Does that sound interesting? If so, gotta first say, maybe some of you guys don't know me. My name is Gabriel Julié. I'm the founder and CEO of Julihey Media. We help companies increase their sales by 30% in 3 months or less with online marketing. So make sure that you contact us if that's something that you are interested to do. Now, guys, as I told you, tons of entrepreneurs try to figure out the best way to get more sales. And one of them is actually to make sure that you put in less effort, but you get actually more results. And what's interesting to do it when you're talking about lead generations and, like incoming traffic, and you're getting them on the phone, what's interesting to see is the fact that a lot of people are trying to increase the close rate and make sure the salespeople are good, which is an excellent part of the system and extremely important. But they also miss a big part of the system. And I'm going to talk about this part of the system right now. So make sure that you stay connected, because we do this every day at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So subscribe to make sure you do not miss any episodes, whether you're on the podcast, Marketing Commandos on the Club podcast, or that you're on YouTube. Let's go. So here's the quickest way to get more sales guaranteed. I got something that's guaranteed for you guys, but you got to understand a few things before that, because tons of entrepreneurs are trying to increase their close rate, as I just told you. But the problem is that they didn't make sure that the system before was set up in the right way. So you got to make sure that whatever you do, whatever you're trying to do down the line, whatever you're doing with your sales system, your sales process, you got to make sure that the things before the sales process are fixed and working correctly. And one of the things that you got to understand first is that marketing is prior to selling, because as I told you guys, tons of entrepreneurs are fixing the sales process, making sure they got more sales and they get, perfect script, perfect way to handle the objection. That's incredible. And that's extremely important. I'm never going to say the opposite. The thing is, you also got to take care of other things, because let's think about it. What are the reasons, talking about inbound traffic, but one of the reasons that your customers are throwing objections at you, they are making it difficult for you. Some may say the lead sucks. One of those reasons is because, hey, it's like in selling. In selling, if we have trouble in the close, that's because we didn't do correctly the fact finding, the grading. That's the step before that actually causes the step we are in to make it difficult. And that's exactly the same thing when you talk about selling in the whole aspect of it. Setting and closing becomes difficult when the marketing prior to the selling is not done correctly. So what is the marketing done before the selling I'm talking about? Well, maybe your ad didn't qualify enough the customers that you wanted to talk to, and down the line in the funnel that you got and in the sales meeting that you get with those people, they're not really that qualified and you're wasting some time, or maybe they're really difficult. Now, some of them you're going to have to battle with them. And that's okay. That's no problem. You should be trained in order to handle these situations. But what you need to also make sure that is that, hey, if you can grab some low-hanging fruits, best opportunities, why not getting those? You know what I mean? So one of the best things to do, or at least to understand the mind shift that you need to understand, is that, hey, if the selling part is broken, is complicated, that's something that was before it that was broken, or that you didn't accomplish the best way you possibly can. Now, what can that step be? What can that thing be? Well, it can be something in the sales process. Let's say you are in the closing step and you see that they're not ready to close. They are really difficult to close. You got to handle a lot of objections. Oftentimes, that's going to be something that's in the sales process by itself. But oftentimes, it's something that's even prior to that, even prior to them entering the sales process. The first time they saw you, the first time they got in contact with you, they understood, okay, what is that? Like they got awareness about you, that marketing space. If you don't do that step correctly, the whole process down the line, the rest of the funnel is going to not work efficiently. So you got to make sure that every step of the way you are doing things correctly to set up an easy close, an easy sale from that point on. The ad, the sales page, the application. If you do a high ticket funnel, we're going to talk about that further in today's episode, how to do a high ticket application funnel. All those things like that, you need to set them up the right way in order to make the sale easy on you. Now, I'm not saying that you gotta hope that everything is going to be easy for you. That's not what I'm saying. But the thing is, if we can make sure that as many easy sales, like people that are already qualified and that pretty much the whole marketing, the whole funnel did the work for you, and that you only have to take as many orders as possible, well, that's great. That saves you some time, that makes you some money quicker, and you have more time to make more money and to do other things. So that's extremely important to understand this. All the steps prior to the closing are the things that you need to fix if you're having trouble to close. Think about this. And also something that's important in order to facilitate the closing process is the follow-up. Like, I'm not going to stress that enough. Follow-up, like the money is in the follow-up. The goal is in the follow-up. You got to make sure that whatever you are doing, your follow-up system is top-notch. Make sure that it's great and that it's working. Why do I say that? Well, you can see like the follow-up process is extremely important because whenever you don't have one, people forget about you. They are not going to contact you back, and you're going to have trouble to close them and build that genuine trust. And you got to find some time to follow up, guys, because whether it's like creating your email list, newsletter, setting up those things, or whether it's calling them back, sending them creative ways, text messages, emails, social touches, whatever it is, you got to find out ways to follow up with them, because that's the most efficient way you can actually do it and actually make sure that you stay in contact with them. And that's going to make the close easy on you. And sometimes, oftentimes even, it's going to grab you opportunities that you didn't thought were possible, that actually are. You just had to follow them up a bit to make sure you get them at the right time. If you guys did like what I just talked about, make sure that you share the live stream, because we do this every day at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure that you do not miss any episodes down the line. Guys, I'm going to go quickly into Q&As, questions that are frequently asked, that people ask marketers oftentimes, and I'm going to answer those to make sure that you don't do the mistakes I'm going to talk about, and that you know, okay, what are the answers? What are the things that you need to do in those situations? Number one, how can I qualify my leads? How can I qualify my leads? Well, the thing that I'm going to tell you first is that you got to make sure that your leads are qualified from the get-go. So the first time they get in contact with you, you got to make sure that you separate them from the rest of the people that you don't want. Identify your dream customer. Okay, who is a person I really want to have and to sell to? Okay, and when you got to identify that person as much as you possibly can, what you're going to do is you're going to address to them, talk to them in a way that only them can understand. Let's say you are selling like marketing services to people that already created a website. They're going to have a certain vocabulary that people that are just beginning don't know. So maybe you can use some of that kind of like not really technical knowledge, but a few techie words here and there, so you can filter the people that can understand your sales message, and so address and talk to the right people. That's one of the ways I would qualify my leads. Second question that I see oftentimes: hey, what is the best way to generate leads for high ticket offers? Well, one of the best ways that I saw is creating, like, you have different ways to bring people to that funnel. It can be a webinar, it can be a squeeze page, it can be an offer, an upsell, following up in the newsletter, whatever it is. But one of the best ways to actually get them on a call with you is having an application page, a high ticket phone funnel. And that's an incredible funnel that you can have to go into any high ticket coaching programs, recurring thing. That's your best, highest ticket offers. That's one of the best ways to actually make sure that you deal closes and that you get scheduled phone calls every day in order to make sure that you close for your highest paying programs. Question number 3 now is going to be, hey, what follow-up sequence do you recommend? Well, it depends, but one advice I got for you is that you got to be creative. You got to make sure that whatever you do with your follow-up, you use all the ways and you're able to talk to in many different ways as possible, because some people may respond to emails, where some respond to phone message, some listen to voicemail, some don't, some prefer text messages. You got to hit all the different angles to see which one sticks and which one you can get into communication. And when you get into communication, you get them back into the sales process. So find ways, all the possible ways to contact that person, even handwritten letters sometimes. Find all the possible ways you can use in order to grab their attention and get them back into conversation. That's the way you should do it. And you got to figure out what way it is. So that's why you should have a list of tools that you got in order to get further and do the job. Now, guys, if you did like this, share the live stream, because we do this every day at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we do not miss any episode any day. That's not going to happen, guys. Guys, I'm going to share with you right now something critically important. I'm going to share you 3 quick and easy ways to increase your revenue without taking more calls. Would you guys like to do this? If so, make sure that you stay until the end of the list, because I also got a bonus tip that's going to help you get more results, even with those 3 things that I'm going to talk about. Number 1, you gotta have a sales funnel that qualifies them. If you do not have a sales funnel that qualifies your people before they get on the phone with you, you're going to have a lot of extra work to do. If you have a sales funnel that's already perfectly set it up, and you are able to qualify them before they go on the call with you, before they get on the phone with you, what's going to happen is that you're going to have a lot of time that you're not going to use in order to convince them, show them the thing, because the funnel already did all the work for you. So make sure that you do not work harder, but you work smarter and set up that funnel the best way possible before you get them on the phone with you. That's going to save you a lot of time and make you a lot of money. Second thing that you got to understand is that when it comes to incoming traffic, make sure that you pull as much as possible and you don't push. So what I mean by that is that you got to make sure that they are initiating the action of taking action with you, and you're not pushing them to do it as much as possible. Of course, at the end, sometimes you're going to have to push them a bit to make a decision. You're going to have to show them what's the best way to do it. That's your job as a salesperson. That's your job as a marketer. You got to push them a bit to get out of their comfort zone. But you got to make sure they take as much action as possible. So you don't have to push them all the way, but they are also coming to you as much as possible. As I just told you, saving more time and energy to make sure that you get and you save all the energy you got to make as much money and save as much time as possible. Number 3 things that you need to take care of. You got to follow up to build relationship. And I talked about this, I think 1 or 2 episodes ago, the fact of creating relationship with follow-up sequences, emails, and sequences of emails that create a relationship with your customers, so it increases the open rates of your list. Same thing when you're following up, whether it's on the phone or with via email, like we talked about. You got to make sure that you build that relationship and that value, the perceived value around yourself, so whenever they do decide to take action, it's going to make the job way, way easier on you. Now, bonus tip that you guys need to take care of and understand, you got to understand that the more you promote, the more traffic you will get, because now that you get all those sales funnels set up, now that you know exactly what's going to happen, and you know exactly, okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to say? The funnel is set up the right way. I just have to get some people in there. Well, you got to get some people in that funnel. And one of the things that you got to understand is that the more you're going to promote, the more you're going to talk about your opportunity, the more you're going to go on other people's podcasts and promoting your offers, the more you're going to do those things, well, the more you're going to get some traffic, and the more you're going to get some results, and ultimately money, and ultimately helping out some people. If you guys do like this, make sure that you share the live stream, because right now I'm going to share with you some dope thing. I'm going to actually share with you a step-by-step process, like a page-by-page process of what a high-ticket funnel looks like. That's going to pre-qualify the leads for you. That's going to make them with envy of like giving you their credit card on the phone before actually getting on the phone with you, and do all the work for you. And the goal is to make sure that you only have to close or maybe end up 1 objection or 2, but you don't have to do all the work. The funnel will do it all for you. If you guys like this, stay tuned, because it's going to change the way you do business. Guys, let me share with you what I just talked to you guys about. How to make a high ticket lead generation funnel. So for all you guys that have a coaching program, that have high-ticket products, high-ticket offers, that want to sell those, but don't really know how to do it, well, what if I told you that there is a solution out there? There is a funnel that can actually put the people into the right mindset, select them, have an application process so they actually are willing, they are willing and able to go on the call with you and actually buy your product. So basically the funnel do all the work for you and you just have to take the call and close some deals. Well, if you are interested in this, make sure you stay tuned because I'm going to share a method and the exact step-by-step on how to create that funnel right now. So guys, here is the first step of this funnel. First step, it's actually 3 steps. It's a 3-step funnel. First step that you got to make is you got to make the landing page. So the landing page looks a bit like this. I hope that you appreciate my doodling skills. Well, you got a big headline. So you got an headline that's going to entice some desire and show them how you can help them. Then you can put a sub headline here. And what you're going to do is that you're going to put a video on that top. Now, this video, what you got to put in that video, I recommend putting testimonials. That's one of the best things that you can do. You can actually put some testimonials of clients that you already work with. That's going to oftentimes be the videos that do work the best. Then what you have is that you got a form right here. So now we're not doing the application that I talked to you guys about. We are just putting a form with email, phone numbers, and name. That's the thing that you're going to have right here. Then under this, for some people that may have some trouble taking a decision, just reading those 3 things up here, you put some more logical things that are going to show them exactly what you do, what you're going to have in here. So the checklist, bullet points to convince them logically to take action. So that's extremely important. Now, why are we doing a page like this? Well, it's extremely important to first, as soon as possible, I always talk about this, make sure that you always grab the information to put them on traffic that you own, because some people, if we put the application right in the front page, right there, they may be like, oh, I'm not going to fill this up. I don't have enough. Like, I don't want to do it because people are lazy or people are scared to take decisions. So you got to make sure that as soon as possible, you grab the information. So let's say they don't fill out the form completely. You can send them an email. Hey, remember, you got to fill out this form. Hey, you got this to do. You got this to do. And remember to fill out this form, like to make sure you stay in contact with them. So first thing first, to do that, you got to make sure that you get the informations first. So the first thing that you got to do in that page is video, testimonial, and you have that form to capture the information to be able to contact them. Then the second step what you got to do is not a new page actually, but whenever you click send the form, you're going to make a pop-up appear with the application form. So you're going to put questions in here, and those questions are going to help you qualify and facilitate the call that you're going to get. So remember, the goal is to make sure that you qualify those people as much as possible. So make sure that in the first page, whenever you have a step, you qualify the people that are going to go in the next step. So you make sure that, okay, only the dream people that I want to actually take on the call will be on the call with me, and you don't have some people that you don't want to get on the call on the phone with, you know what I mean? So you got to make sure that you do that at each steps, and you filter all the people that you do not want further down the road. So you're going to have that application with your questions with a send button. Then you're going to be able to add that application and make sure that you check it out. And then the next thing that you gotta have is a thank you page. As I told you, it's really simple, really simple. Thank you page with onwards. Now remember, one important note on thank you pages. Do not put a message like on the headline. I see that mistakes done a lot of times. Do not put something like, oh, thank you for your order, because whenever you do something like that, people are like, okay, I'm done, and they get out of the page. No. You got to make sure that if you have any more information that you need to provide them and something that they got to know, you got to show them that the buying cycle is not finished. So one thing that you can say, and actually put it in an interesting way to say it in there, is that you're one step away from, so let's say you're putting up a high ticket weight loss program. You're one step away from getting in the shape of your life. So it shows them that the buying process, okay, this is not finished. I just have to do something else. And this is called the homework page. So what you're going to have is sometimes you have people to, gather a few informations to make sure that they have everything on the call with you, so that when they're on the call with you, they can actually be a close. And you don't have to be like, oh, I don't have this. Okay, so we're going to set up another call to finish the close. No, Make sure that they get all the homework prepared. Maybe you make them watch a specific video, for example, to take a bit more to know a bit more about you, about the program. And one of the great things that you can do is add some social proof in there to, validate the fact that they made the right decision, like all the testimonials, written testimonials, or like social proof, things like that. So list of homework on the left right here, and on the right, maybe I can zoom. No, I cannot. But on the right, what you put is that you create trust with the people that's going to call them. So if you have a specific person that's going to call them, I would advise you to put the name of the person, a photo of that person, phone number, email, and a short bio to create like, okay, this is the person that's going to call them. And I'm getting a bit of more certainty knowing who is that person and who is going to call me. And one of the great things that you can add under there is actually add like, okay, what's going to happen? Like, hey, okay, great. We are reviewing your application. We are going to do this and that, and we are going to call you in one day or something like this. Or if you want, you can call us directly at this number. That's the process I would advise you guys to have. Now, guys, maybe you have some questions on what exactly you can put on that follow, or maybe you want specific examples of, hey, what can I put as questions in an application form as well? Because how can I qualify, and what can I say to qualify those people to make sure I get the best of the best of the best, and I get the customers that I really want? Well, if you know that, if you want to know more that in detail, I would advise you guys to go and check out gabrieljulié.com/action plan, because today I'm going to put up an action plan on how you can execute and create your iTicket page like this, iTicket phone funnel. And the thing that's interesting is that I do not have the time to go really deep into that funnel right now, but I do on this page, and I put every deep steps and things that you can do step by step in order to achieve that results, because I want you guys to actually apply the information I'm giving you. So make sure that you go gabrieljulié.com/action plan. Guys, do you like what I just shared with you? If you do, put a comment on what's your industry and what you're actually doing, so I can make sure I can help you out the most as possible. We're going to go over a quick recap over what we just talked about today. If you guys have any questions, jump on the Clubhouse to go and ask them. So, final thoughts number one, hey, marketing is prior to sales. You got to understand that whatever is happening in your funnel, if you have problems down the line, it's oftentimes due to mistakes done further in the beginning of your funnel. So whatever you are doing, make sure that you think about, okay, what is the step that the person went through that's making it complicated right now? And oftentimes you got to understand that because marketing is prior to sales, if your marketing is not optimized the right way, well, you're not going to have an easy close. Set up your marketing strategy the right way. Number two, when it comes to incoming traffic, you got to make sure you pull as much as possible and not push. So it means that you got to qualify the leads. You got to make sure it's as an easy close as possible. Sometimes you're going to have to push them, and that's fine. But the thing is, you don't have to do all the work. Make sure that they do their due diligences, and that it's as an easy close as possible. And in order to do that, you got to set up the funnel the right way. Next thing that we can take from today's episode is that follow-up is where the money is. And I cannot stress that enough. Follow-up is really where the money is, because if you do not follow them up, there are like 2% chances that you actually close them on the first call. So you got to make sure that you are following them up. Email massively, phone calls, text messages, social media. You got to become creative with the way you're following them up, because that's where the money is. 80% of your sales will come from following up with those people. So make sure that you do follow up. Now, guys, grab this right now before it goes, because today I'm going to put an action plan at gabrieljulié.com/action plan. And if you do not jump today, well, it's going to be another one. Each day change an action plan, because I want to make sure that you guys do apply the information that I share with you. So make sure that you go on gabrieljulié.com/action plan and that you do apply the information I got for you guys. Well, that's all for it today, guys. I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. I'm going to see you again tomorrow on tomorrow's episode, and I see you with your daily dose of marketing. It's been Gabriel Julié, your marketing commander.